Book 1 of Meditations is unlike the rest of the work. Here, the Emperor Marcus Aurelius lists the people who shaped him. It is a master class in gratitude and an inventory of the virtues he hoped to embody. Book 1. Debts and Lessons. From my grandfather Varus, I learned to be gentle and to keep my temper under control. From the reputation and memory of my father, I learned integrity and manliness. From my mother, I learned to be religious and generous, not just to refrain from doing wrong, but even from having the thought of it. Also, to live a simple life, far removed from the habits of the rich. From my great-grandfather, I learned not to attend public schools, but to have good teachers at home, and to understand that on such things, one should spend liberally. From my tutor, I learned not to take sides in the chariot races or the gladiatorial games. I learned to endure hardship, to want little, to do my own work, to mind my own business, and to be deaf to malicious gossip. From Diognetus, I learned to avoid wasting time on vanities, not to believe the stories of miracle workers and sorcerers about incantations, or the driving out of demons. I learned to endure plain speaking and to become intimate with philosophy. From Rusticus, I learned that my character required improvement and discipline. He taught me not to be led astray into sophisticated competition, or writing on speculative themes, or delivering little moralizing sermons. He taught me to read carefully, not to be satisfied with a rough whole, or to jump to conclusions. From Apollonius, I learned moral freedom and unswerving steadiness of purpose, to look to nothing else, even for a moment, except to reason, to stay the same in sharp pain, in the loss of a child, or in long illness. From Sextus, I learned a kindly disposition, to see the pattern of a household governed by a father, to understand the idea of living according to nature, to be tolerant of the ignorant and those who form opinions without thought. He showed me how to be a friend. From Alexander the Grammarian, I learned to refrain from fault-finding, not to mock those who use a barbarous or ungrammatical expression, but to quietly introduce the correct term into the conversation. From Fronto, I learned to observe how envy, duplicity, and hypocrisy are the marks of a tyrant, and that generally, those we call patricians are rather lacking in human affection. From Alexander the Platonic, I learned not to say often to anyone, or write in a letter, that I am too busy, unless there is a real necessity. I learned not to evade the duties we owe to those who live with us by pleading urgent affairs. From Catullus, I learned not to disregard a friend's reproach, even if it is unreasonable, but to try to restore him to his usual kindly footing. From my brother Severus, I learned to love my family, to love truth, and to love justice. From him, I learned the idea of a state in which there is the same law for all, a government administered with regard to equal rights and equal freedom of speech. From Maximus, I learned self-government and not to be led aside by anything, to be cheerful in all circumstances, especially in illness. He showed me a character that was a beautiful blend of sweetness and dignity. Everyone believed that he meant what he said and that he did what he did without any ill intent. From my father Antoninus Pius, I learned mildness of manners and an uncheckable adherence to decisions made after due consideration. I learned to ignore empty honors. He was a man who labored for the state, who was consistent, and who cared for his friends, without ever becoming bored of them or obsessed with them. He was always prepared, long in advance, for any eventuality. From the gods, I am grateful for having good grandparents, good parents, a good sister, good teachers, good associates, and good friends. I am grateful that I did not stay too long under the influence of my grandfather's concubine, and that I preserved my youth. I am grateful that I was subjected to a ruler and a father who was able to take all pride out of me. That concludes Book 1, A Master Class in Gratitude. It's easy to forget that the most powerful man in the world felt he owed everything to his teachers and family. Before you click away, ask yourself, who would be on your list? Write one person you're grateful for in the comments below. In the next video, we dive into Book 2, where Marcus explores the brevity of life and the discipline of the morning. I'll see you there.